Your three options are, Howard, and why? Pick one. Andrew Dice Clay calling a supermarket sweepstakes race. George Carlin calling a beach volleyball game. Or Richard Pryor calling a chess game.
I'm going to go with Richard Pryor calling a chess game, because chess, it's a great game. You know what I mean? I think you really it demands a lot of brain thinking. But to watch it, it's a pretty, not much happens. So I think Richard Pryor calling it would give it so much excitement.
JC Farina says George Carlin only if it's a women's volleyball game. Absolutely. You're right about that. I'm going to kick it over to Paul Roma right now with your options. Again, George Carlin calling a beach ball volleyball game, Andrew Dice Clay calling a supermarket sweepstakes race, or Pryor calling a chess game.
Well, I'm going to go with Carlin. I think he would be absolutely hysterical. When somebody goes to dig for a ball or they spike somebody. And if it was a female volleyball game, I think he can make it even funnier than that.
George Carlin, all the way. Carlin volleyball. Archie agrees. Michael Rubin, J.C. Farina. We also have Taekwon says yes. George Carlin. Okay, clean sweep. So right now we will kick it over to Howard Collado for the second trio of options. Would you rather, Howard, listen to Ben Stein calling a mud wrestling match, Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds calling a spelling bee, or Rocky Balboa calling a potato sack challenge?
The idea of Ogre calling a spelling bee is just hilarious to me, because it's like children, just...
Shannon, Howard, real men are typing. Shannon's joining us. He's typing this, so I got to mute you right now because you don't matter and he does. Shannon says, if it's female volleyball, Carlin would go all Mickey Doyle for sure if it's female volleyball. I would agree there, see? That was a lot more interesting than anything Howard would say, but go ahead, Howard Collado. Go ahead. Chime in.
Booger's enunciation, his articulation, his beautiful voice.
Booger's not even an option. Ogre.
Sorry, that's a Freudian slip. I think of
You're
Booger
a Freudian slip.
I am in your dreams. I'm going to go with Ogre. Ogre, his loud mouth would just be so hilarious,
Okay, so. You don't even know who Ogre is, do you, Howard?
Yes, I do.
You have no idea who he is.
Ogre.
I'm going to kick it over to Paul Roma, the sensible one, the logical one, the intelligent one. Paul Roma, your options are Ben Stein calling a mud wrestling match, Ogre calling a spelling bee, or Rocky Balboa calling a potato sack challenge.
I'm going to have to go with Rocky. Because I think Rocky be like, yo, Adrian, look at him go. They got one foot in the bag. They got one foot out of the bag. How they're doing it, but I don't know, something like that. I think it'd be hysterical, and him wondering, doing this thing with his finger, like I don't even know why I'm here.
Hey, Mickey, I got this. I got this race. You can't win, Rock. You can't win. What's the matter with you? And then, of course, Adrian doesn't think he'll win either, and he does win. That's why Shannon Ravel is the man. Why? Rocky Balboa? No, we know why. Rock Richards, how about Howard calling a wrestling match? Howard makes the entire show every time he's on. Wow.
Thank you, Rock.
Wow.
He finally, someone sees the truth of
the
worth.
Hello, Joel Bateman. Hi, everyone. That's a show in of itself based off that comment. Archie Willoughby, Mickey Doyle looking a gif would be hilarious. Michael, I would say Jim Ross from WCW calling a women's mud wrestling match. LOL, sure. Paul wins this. Paul does win this round. It's official. We will kick it over to Howard Softcore. Three options I'm going to give you right now, Mr. Softcore Howard. Would you rather listen to Al Bundy calling a female sumo wrestling match, Gilbert Gottfried calling a boxing match, or the man we just brought up, Crocodile Dundee, calling a singing contest between Andre the Giant and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Crocodile Dundee calling a singing contest between Andre and Schwarzenegger. Which do you go with?
I'm going to go with Crocodile Dundee. It's just something beautiful about that Australian accent. Hey, mate, look at him go.
And then what about the singing contest between Andre and Arnold, right? He's calling that.
Yes, yeah. The singing contest between Andre and...
How would that sound, Howard? You're, you know what? We put you under the gun. If you're really that good, give us something.
I am just beautiful to
Who's that supposed to be?
That's Andre.
That's Andre?
Yeah, that's my interpretation.
Andre sounds like a 97-year-old guy who's hooked up to some... I'm not going to bring it up. All right, guys, J.C. Gilbert Gottfried would be hysterical. A great impersonation. Paul, the guy who does know how to do impersonations. Yeah, Gilbert, Rocky for sure. Rocky, look at all these comments coming in. Lock him up. I agree with that. Casey, let us know. Chime in. Let us know which options you'd like. Paul Roma, We have Al Bundy calling a female sumo wrestling match, Gilbert Gottfried calling a boxing match, or Crocodile Dundee calling a singing contest between Andre the Giant or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, I think, Godfrey would be annoying as hell with that voice.
He would be.
I think Al Bundy sitting on a sofa with his hand down his pants calling, a match would be phenomenal.
Let me check with the judge. That's the right answer. Guys, Paul Roma's up. That is the right answer. Al Bundy, hand in his pants, calling sumo is the right answer. That's what the judges told me. So Paul Roma is up right now, much to Howard's dismay. He can't do anything about it. So Howard.
Okay.
Next trio of options for Mr. Collado, and I say that lightly. Next trio of options. Who would you like to listen to and why, Mr. Collado? Larry King calling a Paul Roma match. Jerry Seinfeld calling a race between a roach and a centipede. People that belong to your lineage family. Or Alf calling a match between David Holliday and Mario Mancini.
As much as I would love to see a match between David and Mario Mancini, especially just Mario Mancini punching him over and over and over and over. Did I say over again? I'm going to go with Jerry Seinfeld calling a race between a centipede and I forgot what the other animal is. Look at him go! Look at him go! He's just going. Oh, look at his legs. He's almost going there. Oh!
You done? You finished?
Yep. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
We can continue on to the entertaining portion of the show, which is Paul Roma. He epitomizes that. I'd like Al Bundy for the previous round. William, you got him. No problem. Rock Richards, Howard, play what you would be hearing in the background if you just hit your finisher on Roma and Avi in the main event of a pay-per-view. I got to tell you, got a great creative mind, Rock Richards. Great creative mind. I could hire you as a screenwriter because that's not reality what you just wrote, but it's okay. You're entitled. I don't think Paul would like a little bro like Larry King calling one of his. We'll find out now. We'll find out when I kick it over to him. Alf, 100% for Casey. Alf, sure. I'm sorry. I don't think Paul would be a liberal like Larry King calling one of his wrestling matches. Alf, Joel Bateman, and Archie. Howard, how did you bruise over a twisted T? Paul for the win. And Paul, who do you got? Should I read you the options again?
Sure.
Okay. We have Larry King calling one of your matches. We have Jerry Seinfeld calling a race between a roach and a centipede. Or Alf calling a match between David Holliday and Mario Mancini. Alf calling a match.
Well, here, I'm going to have to go with Alf for this reason, this reason alone. I got to stick by my boy, Mario Mancini. So that's very important. And make it a little twisted. Maybe Mario beat Alf up while he's commentating, after he gets done beating up the other one. So I'm going to go with Mancini and Alf.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. Absolutely. Paul for the win. Absolutely. Alf for the win. We're going to go right now to Howard Collado, who doesn't know the definition of the word win, even though he can barely spell it. Howard, the next trio of options I have are as such. Howard, be quiet. Some entertaining people are speaking right now. I'm talking about myself. So your trio of options are Howard Stern calling a speed dating contest. Norm from Cheers. And by the way, guys, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, 2021, Norm. That's all I'm saying. Howard Stern calling a speed dating contest. Norm from Cheers calling a nacho eating contest. Or Sam Kinison calling a horse race.
Sam Kinison. Calling a horse race because I think
He's almost got it. He's almost got it. He's got it. He's got it.
He's going right down. He's going right by the nose, by the nose. He's done.
It was funny when I did that, but that's fine. I could not see Larry King calling.
I really like the way you did that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Avocado delight.
Talent knows talent. And speaking of which, I transferred over to Paul Roma, who's talent personified. Again, your trio of options are Howard Stern calling a speed dating contest, Norm from Cheers calling a nacho eating contest, or Sam Kinison calling a horse race.
Well, you know what? I'm a Cheers fan.
Yeah.
I got to go with Norm. I like Norm. I thought he was very funny. He just had that laid back, I don't care attitude. Do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. I've got to go with Norm.
I like the Norm answer a lot.
Got to go with him, man.
Yeah, Paul got it. You're voting for Sam. JC, Sam Kinison calling a horse race would be hysterical. I could picture my mind calling a tight race. Joel Bateman, Norm, the Bears. Love that segment with Norm, absolutely, on Saturday Night Live. The Bears, who doesn't? And guys and gals, every single time Norm understands that Howard Collado doesn't even know who he is, so he can't vote for him. He doesn't get upset. He grabs his right guard. Extreme Defense, Arctic Refresh, 72 hours. It might take 72 hours to get the stench, the aroma of Howard Collado off of your back, but right guard will get the job done. It'll grab yourself. Everyone's got a Howard in their life. Grab right guard to get rid of that stench. So, yes, right guard's there for you in many ways. We have two more of these
appreciate
right now.
that, but go on.
I don't care. We have two more of these. Howard Collado, we'll kick it over to you. Would you rather hear Bob Dylan calling a wrestling match, Spock calling a wrestling match, or Steve Urkel calling a wrestling match?
Gonna go with Bob Dylan. Look at him put a clothesline on that guy.
Paul Roma, we will now give you your trio of options. We have Bob Dylan calling a wrestling match, Spock calling a wrestling match, or Steve Urkel calling a wrestling match. Who and why?
Well, I don't think we'll have enough time to, hear Dylan because he'll sing a song through the whole thing. Spock, he'll bore you to death. I'd take those two fingers and probably just split them open. And
while you do that, Tim, I could see Spock reacting in such a manner as such. He'd probably just say, Paul, this is very uncomfortable. I don't condone your actions right now at this moment.
Try doing it now. Try getting them back together. And I think Urkel
appears to be very problematic.
Run around the ring and get into the wrestling match while he's. I don't know, man. I'm going with the Urks.
Matthew's going with Urkel. It'd be funny. Use right guard. Good. You need to do that. JC, George Wendt was funny with those old miser brow commercials from the 80s. Yes, he was. And guys, we've got one more trio of options. Howard Collado, the good news is you will not have to hear his voice anymore after this segment. So Howard Collado.
Like a symphony.
We have trio of options. Who would you like to listen to? Call a match and why? We have Roseanne Barr calling the World Series. We have Ozzy Osbourne calling the NBA Finals. Or we have Jay Leno calling the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go with Ozzy calling, baseball game? What is he calling?
Paul Roma, I'll give you your trio of options since Howard Collado can't remember very simple information. No, we have Ozzy Osbourne calling the NBA Finals, Howard.
Yeah, I'll go with Ozzy. Shannon! Look, he's doing a dunk! Shannon! He's playing double dipping. I don't know any.
For the previous ones, we have William Wilson, Spock, Joel, Mr. Spock would be logical. Archie Willoughby, Spock, sign when doing flying head scissors. Shannon Ravel, he'd be hard to do that when Paul Roma breaks his fingers in half. But yeah, I see. Shannon Ravel, we don't have right guard over here. 3-day defense would have helped last year. You're right about that. William Wilson, Ozzy, JC Farina, Roseanne. Look at all these comments. Calling the World Series would make me a big fan of cockroach wrestling. Ozzy from Joel Bateman, Archie Willoughby, Ozzy, Rock Richards. Who would Paul Roma rather work in a match, Avi or Howard? And would you put either of them over? That's from Rock Richards asking Paul Roma a question.
Wow. Listen, we're maintaining the truth there, so no, I wouldn't put Howard over.
No,
I mean I'll take his guitar and beat him with it.
Howard would be over literally.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. You're gonna come into the ring with your guitar, just like Alex Wright came in and started to dance, and I jumped him, picked him up over my head, and press slammed him. So if you came in with your guitar, I'd take it away from you and beat you with it. It's fine.
You heard Paul Roma's example and analogy. Guess what? This shows you how the symmetry that Paul and I have. Take a look. This is what it is. There we go. Paul Roma and Alex Wright, live and in color. Look at that's how connected we are. Look at this. He's celebrating. Why not? Look at the cardio on this guy. Jumps up like it's at hang time, like he's kind of like doing the Air Jordan with coffee in his hand. He has enough time to eat a sandwich, and he drops an elbow, and then he's not even finished yet. He's dancing and prancing, and I love that. Look at that. That's the one and only Paul Roma. That's pretty much what Paul Roma described, and that's Alex Wright not looking so fine over there. We will continue with our last trio of options. Yes, nice drop kick off the turnbuckle from JC. Right now we have, is this our last one? Well, no. I actually don't have Paul Roma's answer yet. Roma, you have Roseanne, Ozzy.
Yeah, and the reason being is you'll get to listen to or at least watch the game in a little bit of silence because Ozzy is not going to watch a basketball game and know what the hell's going on.
Right.
That was kind of like my impression. That was my impression. That's the genius of
I know what you were trying to do was far from your impression, but it was, it's just,
No love for Howard. It's okay.
You know what? Well, I'll give
we're
you some
still
love
at.
right now. How about this, Howard? I'll give you some love.
Give him some love.
Guys, at the hour and 30 mark exactly, hour and 30, I'm going to let you know we had it all. I want to thank Big Steve, who came on board. I want to thank Shannon, who's an unsung hero. I want to thank Paul, and the topic that we brought up Chris Collins.